Hello comic book fans, today we're talking about the final boss issue 6. I've been waiting for this one to come out, trying to keep track of all these issues, but I saw that this one dropped and I had to talk about it. The final boss has been one of my more favorite comic books to talk about on the channel because it has a completely different vibe. In this particular issue, we don't get a backstory on his grandfather like all the other issues. This story starts off different. It starts off showing us Brazen when he was younger, when he was like, I would say maybe a teenager, and he's going over talking about his life and about how his, when his parents died and his sister blamed the father, and how the mother, he really didn't know her all that well. And then as he's talking about that, we are getting this sequence with these other kids, and they're doing something and it looked very suspicious while doing it, telling Brazen to get lost, but it ends up catching his attention and he ends up being nosy and going to see what they're actually doing, because curiosity literally kills the cat in this situation. There's a cat that they tied on the train tracks, and it's like out of the blue kind of, with what the show we've gotten so far. But what this is doing is showing us the kind of person Brazen was way before he knew he had powers or anything, and he ends up beating the crap out of all these kids. He's like 1v3s them, and he beats the crap out of all of them just to try and save this cat on the train tracks. And it just comes to show you how cruel people can be, even as kids, even at a age to where you don't think that would be a thing, but it is. And he desperately tries to get this cat loose and to try to free it, but the unfortunate outcome of this is that that's not the case. And he shows us that he understood how ugly the world and how people could be at a very young age. I feel like that was the lesson being taught here. And he ends up being covered, in the blood of this cat, and he looks at them and tells them like, you're dead. And I don't think he actually, dismembers them, but for sure he beat the living crap out of all of them. And that backstory, that seeing us into his past, was just to show us who he is as a person, who he is, spiritually and soul-wise. He's genuinely a good person, or at least tries to be a good person. And he is a fighter, but he is able to take the anger he has, or take what's inside of him, and he's able to aim it properly and not be just an outright villain, or a man not being able to control his emotions very well. And I think those are good lessons and good aspects to pay attention to. Now we get to the actual fight, because he is still on this island. The tournament is still going, and his next opponent is Night Owl. It is this woman who is pretty much, she has like an assassin build, right? If I was to put this in video game terms, somebody like Brazen, he covers a few different things, a DPS and a tank. He's a few different things, but Night Owl, she is particularly like a heavy assassin class. Her powers and her abilities and how she operates is quick, swift, violent, and deadly. And they give us a quick description of what she can do and her powers and abilities and how she operates as a fighter. And even as I was reading this, I'm like, I think she's pretty much screwed here when it comes to what Brazen has already done and what we've already seen him capable of doing. I don't think, just when it comes to a fighter's perspective, I don't think she stands too much of a chance, right? That's what I'm thinking, that, reading this and going through the pages. But then something happens, a particular detail that has happened in all of his other fights that has changed in this one, because yes, she's an assassin build, But what does that mean? That means she goes into a fight differently than a big guy, that is, self-centered and thinks that he's all that. She's not going into the fight like this. In all of his other fights, Brazen feeds off of the negativity, he feeds off of the damage of his other opponents to get that power going, right? That's how he's been winning these fights, to get that anger, to get that power up. And even as he's going back and forth now, she's not giving him that, right? There's no smack talk, there's no extra. She's deadly, but she's coming off as honorable fighter. So he's not having nothing to really bounce off of to get his power going like every other fight that he has been in up until this point. And he's actually winning the fight, but he's not getting where he really needs out of said fight. And that's when he activates his firepower, something that I would say it's less than where we've seen his other powers and abilities are going. But I really wonder how he's going to win this fight when his opponent is going into it with a different mindset and technique. And that's all I have for this video. Thank you guys for watching this video. Like, share, and subscribe for more. And thank you for watching.